The day they underestimated Selah Warren. There's something about high school cafeterias that makes people forget they're human. Maybe it's the noise, the way chairs scrape against tile, the uneven hum of gossip, laughter, and slamming trays. Or maybe it's the fact that everyone's pretending they're not watching each other, when in truth, they are. Always. At Madison West High, the lunch commons wasn't just about food. It was a minefield of reputation, a daily gauntlet of unspoken rules. And on one particular Thursday, in the middle of an otherwise forgettable spring semester, that gauntlet swallowed the wrong person. Selah Warren had just aced her pre-calc test. The sky outside was a bold blue, seniors and juniors already counting the weeks to summer break. She walked into the lunch area, earbuds tucked in her bag, a half-read copy of Kindred in her hand, and that signature quiet confidence that made her seem invisible to some, intimidating to others. She was 16, focused, observant in a way that unsettled people who thought silence meant weakness. She didn't talk much, but when she did, every word felt placed with purpose. Selah scanned the room like she always did, calculating. Her usual table by the window was full. Athletes had claimed it. Theater kids were bunched in their usual corner. The band crew clustered around their instruments. The influencer crowd posed with phones held high. So she adjusted, scanning for another option. She saw an open bench in the middle of the commons, half occupied. But there, centered on the bench like a flag staked into enemy soil, sat a backpack. She paused. Then she saw him. He sat with his tray, laughing with two other boys. Senior Letterman jacket, blonde buzz cut, a jawline that looked like it had never been told no. His name was Carter Maddox. Everyone knew Carter, not because he was brilliant or particularly talented, but because he had the gravitational pull of someone the world refused to hold accountable. Selah approached. "Hey," she said, voice steady. "Can I sit here? Could you move your bag?" Carter didn't look at her at first, just kept picking at his food, like her words hadn't registered. Then he smirked, slow and sarcastic, and tilted his head. "You serious?" he asked, flat tone sharpened by arrogance. She nodded. "Yeah, just need a seat." He leaned back theatrically. "Whole cafeteria," he said. "And you want to sit right here?" "It's not your table," she said, unfazed. "Just your back." His smirk vanished. His jaw tensed. His friends chuckled, eyes gleaming like they sensed a performance brewing. Carter reached for the bag and moved it, barely. An insulting few inches. "There. Knock yourself out." Selah sat. Just like that. Smooth. Calm. Controlled. She opened her book like nothing happened. The boys laughed under their breath. Whispers floated from surrounding tables. But Carter? He wasn't laughing. He kept glancing at her, unsettled by the way she didn't flinch. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Selah read. Didn't eat much. Didn't react to the shade Carter kept throwing in loud, performative bursts. Then he snapped. "You think you're tough or something?" he asked, voice rising. Selah looked up, brows raised. "Excuse me," I said. Carter pushed his tray aside, standing now. "You think you're tough? Sitting here like you don't care." "I'm just sitting," she said plainly. "Then sit somewhere else." Conversations nearby stilled. Phones discreetly rose into frame. Someone at the far table whispered, "Oh, shoot." Selah closed her book, methodical, not defensive. "I'm not moving." Carter leaned in. Then came the first contact. His hand slammed on the table, loud. Some kids jumped. Then he pushed her shoulder, not hard, but hard enough. A statement. That was his mistake. Because what Carter didn't know, what no one really knew, was that Selah Warren had been training for that exact moment for years. She lived with her mother, Lenora, and older brother, Tyson, in a modest apartment just outside Phoenix. Lenora worked double shifts at the hospital, and Tyson, 19, smart-mouthed, fiercely protective, was the one who introduced her to Krav Maga after an incident when she was 13. A man had followed her in the park, said things he shouldn't have. She got away unharmed, but that was the day they realized the world wasn't going to protect her. So she trained. Quietly. 3 times a week. No excuses. No showing off. Just precision. Focus. Breathing through pressure. By 16, she could disarm a man twice her size. Break holds. Neutralize a threat before it turned violent. But she didn't brag. Not at school. Not online. Not even with friends. She trained not to win fights, but to never need one. Back in the cafeteria, Selah stood slowly. The entire room hushed. Carter scoffed. "You gonna cry or swing?" he taunted. She didn't answer. "Go ahead," he sneered. "Do something." Selah didn't blink. She stepped back half a pace, planted her feet, hands open. Calm. Don't touch me again, she said. Carter laughed like she'd just told a joke. Then, in front of 200 students, 3 cameras, and 1 frozen lunch monitor, he shoved her. Harder. That was the moment. Selah let the energy roll off her body, twisted slightly inward, caught his wrist with one hand, pressed the other just behind his elbow, and pivoted. Carter's balance disappeared like sand underfoot. He hit the floor. Loud. Silence erupted. Mouths open. Trays still. Half the room gasped. The other half didn't know what to do. Selah stepped back. Hands still open. Posture relaxed. No punch. No scream. No anger. Carter scrambled up, face red, furious, but not from pain. From humiliation. You think this is funny? He snapped. Selah looked at him calmly. Are you done embarrassing yourself? The cafeteria exploded. Laughter. Whispers. A freshman near the vending machine mouthed damn, like it was gospel. Carter looked around. He'd lost the room. The punchline was no longer his. Lunch monitors ran over. Too late. Carter stormed off. Selah sat back down. Opened her book. 2 minutes later, the assistant principal arrived. Ms. Warren, he said, tight-lipped. Come with me. She packed her things. Quiet. Composed. By the time 6th period ended, the video had already hit Instagram. Then TikTok. A 10-second clip. Captioned, she really flipped him flush face. By that night, 100,000 views. But the fallout was just beginning. In the front office, Selah sat across from Mr. Foster, the assistant principal, and Carter, who couldn't meet her eyes. She threw me, Carter lied. In front of everyone. Selah responded calmly. He pushed me. Twice. I told him not to. He did it again. I redirected the energy. Foster frowned. Redirected? I didn't hit him. I didn't hurt him. I just got him off me. Carter scoffed. What is she, some ninja? I take Krav Maga, Selah replied. 3 years. I don't start fights. I end threats. Foster blinked. Scribbled notes. Then finally said what needed to be said. Carter, you shouldn't have touched her. Period. To Selah, I'm not suspending anyone. But we'll call both your parents. Separate you for the day. And I'll review the footage. Selah nodded. Carter slumped. Her mother arrived 30 minutes later. Calm. Collected. In the car, Selah finally spoke. I didn't want to hurt him. You didn't, Lenora replied. But you stood up. And you didn't lose control. By Friday, the whispers were everywhere. Not about Carter. About her. Some looked at her with awe. Others with confusion. Many stepped out of her way. Her friend Malia caught her in the hallway. Girl, she whispered, you flipped that man like a pancake. Selah shook her head. He fell. I moved. Same thing. No. It's not. By 7th period, a teacher pulled her aside. Are you okay? He asked. Not, do you feel safe? Just. Okay. As if they didn't know what else to say. Carter's friends approached her near the vending machines. Not to threaten. To test. You really went full Mortal Kombat on him, one said. Selah faced them, even keeled. You think this was about a seat? They faltered. She walked away. Later that day, Mr. Foster called her back. We're speaking with district staff, he said. Carter's family is considering a transfer. Selah nodded. I've always felt safe, she told him. It's others who weren't expecting me to be. He nodded. Slowly. Like he understood too late. Carter returned Monday. No drama. No swagger. Just smaller. Selah didn't avoid him. Didn't glare. Didn't boast. She just moved like gravity followed her. Then Friday, after school, she saw him by the back gate. I'm not here to start anything, he said quickly. I just didn't know how else to say this. Selah listened. I messed up, he admitted. I let people hype me up. Thought pushing you made me look tough. But it didn't. It showed everyone what I really am. She said nothing. You could have hurt me. I didn't want to, she said. I just wanted you to stop. He nodded. I saw the comments. The jokes. They're brutal. But the part that really stuck wasn't the fall, it was how you stayed in control. She looked at him. Saw not fear, but realization. I'm not asking forgiveness, he added. Just that I was wrong. You didn't deserve that. Thank you for saying it, she replied. He left. Just like that. That night, Selah folded laundry with her mom. You okay? Lenora asked. Selah smiled. Yeah, I am. Because this was never about a fight. It was about power. Boundaries. Knowing your worth and not surrendering it. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is not yell, not hit, but stand and not move. No matter who's watching, no matter how loud the push, you don't have to raise your voice to be powerful. You just have to know who you are. And never, ever let anyone move you without your permission.